Hi guys and girls, I'm Obsidian Ant and welcome back to Elite Dangerous. Have you ever spent some time doing something that you think you're doing very well? You're making good progress, thinking you're getting somewhere, only to find at the end you've made a pretty monumental mistake. Well, that's what I did on this week's community goal. Now, I filmed this footage on the weekend, but I've only just got the opportunity to put it together into a video for today. So by the time you see this, the community goal is going to be very close to being over. Now, what mistake did I make? Well, this is a very interesting community goal. Unlike many of the others, it isn't a player-submitted one. This is a community goal set by Frontier. In such, it's a story-based one. What you got to do is, on behalf of the Alliance, go out to one of the Thargoid sites and pick up some of the unknown technology here. So, like a bit of a fool, I didn't read the community goal instructions completely well and decided to go out and pick up the unknown technology samples, the ones you can find laying around inside the structure here. Now these are corrosive, and also on top of that you will need an unknown artifact to get inside the structure. So what I did, filled my ship up with a whole bunch of these and finally made my way back to Cache Pools at Neville Horizons to hand them in. Now, being corrosive, these did do some fairly significant amount of damage to my ship. Got quite a bit of damage to the canopy and also got quite a bit of damage to the cargo rack. Actually spewed some of these out on route back. So what was the mistake I made then, I hear you ask? Well, I didn't need to be picking up anything like this. What I needed to be collecting was materials dropped from Scavengers. Yes, I didn't read the instructions, and yes, it's a bit of a silly mistake, but I thought you'd like to see what foolish errors I made. Make sure you don't do things this way. So yeah, as I said, this community goal is set by the Alliance. The idea is that they want to investigate the Thargoids. This kind of confirms that the Scavengers themselves are Thargoid based. That's been in question by some people. We know that these bases are Thargoids, but we didn't know whether or not the Scavengers were part of that same technology. So what the Alliance wants us to do is go out and collect some unknown technology, some unknown organic samples or organic components, which would suggest that these Scavengers are also organic, and we need to pick up some unknown ship scans as well. Now fortunately, if you shoot these Scavengers, they do drop unknown scans as well as part of data. You can scoop them up and they will go into your data banks. But what is the purpose of all this? What exactly do the Alliance want to achieve? Well, they've said that they want to create some new technology that is able to scan and analyze the Thargoids. So could this be something that's going to tie into patch 2.4, which as we know is not too far away at this point. The beta is due to start this week, and I'd say that within a month or so it should be hitting the live servers, so this could perhaps be the start of what we're going to see later on. Now we know from the history of the game that the Alliance have had some pretty significant involvement with the Thargoids, right up to possessing a Thargoid ship originally, although Frontier have said that that particular piece of lore has now been changed and revisioned and it didn't actually happen in the official history of Elite Dangerous. Nonetheless, the Alliance have been particularly quiet. We know they've been creating bases out there nearby nebulas, many nebula in fact, and we also know that out in the California Nebula, the Alliance have a rather secretive base there. Nebula, after all, do seem to be relatively significant for the Thargoids, at least in terms of the barnacles, which usually are only found either in or around Nebula. Now, the Alliance themselves have been far too quiet for far too long, so hearing them getting involved in a rather huge event like this one could well be a huge step towards the Alliance finally coming out and being a big part of the game. But then again, who knows? So here we are, shooting a few more Scavengers. Unfortunate really, I'd rather not do this. These seem to be rather peaceful entities, but this seems to be the only way of collecting the particular material that we need to complete this community goal. So I'm sure the Thargoids themselves are not going to be too happy about this, us simply heading on out just to shoot at the little Scavengers, just for the sake of getting their components so that we can analyse them. Typical human behaviour, perhaps some might say, but then again, it's not like the game gives us much choice or much alternative. So here, at last back at Neville Horizons, this time bringing the correct components, I was able to hand them in. Now, I did so in tears. I didn't want to just hand the whole lot in because this is the sort of data that I would like to keep hold of. Although it's fairly easy to obtain at the moment, who knows how easy it's going to be to obtain in the future. And I suspect that sooner or later we're going to need these materials to start crafting other, well, Thargoid related technology. Now, this community goal has been fairly slow going. The combat one, as usual, was completed very quickly. This one, on the other hand, has only just reached tier 7, and it's looking unlikely that it will reach tier 8, as there's a huge jump between tier 7 and tier 8, as you can see there. Nonetheless, I did eventually manage to get into the top 50%, and I didn't have that many materials to begin with. Now, if you haven't participated in this community goal by the time you look at the video, and if it's still active, it'll be active until Thursday morning UK time, then why not jump over to the Thargoid structure, one of them, and have a look there. Maybe you can make yourself a nice bit of money. And after that, I'm very curious, to say the least, to see where all this is heading. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time.